everyone. Welcome to the Seeds of Success podcast, hosted by Dottie San Martin and myself, Orly Rivera. This show is your weekly dose of knowledge, insights, and actionable tips to transform centers into striking successes. Whether you are a seasoned industry professional or just stepping onto the lanes, we've got you covered. Dottie, I'm just going to start off and go right into it. I don't know if you know, but the most important holiday of the year, in my opinion, just passed. And I'm going to give you a little, and it's kind of what I want to talk about today. I'm going to give you a little hint, okay?
Okay.
And it's not a little hint. It's actually a big hint. Here we go. Does that ring any bells?
So at least you still have birthdays. You know, in my case, we're going backwards now. But I do still celebrate. We just go backwards. So yes, birthdays, that is a very, very important celebration each year, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And when it comes to your business, whether it's bowling center or any other kind of business that's entertaining people, birthdays are very important. I've talked to people that run centers, and birthdays are one of their biggest things they profit on. So it's definitely something big. We want to cover it today. We want to cover, how you can get the word out there that you host birthday parties, not necessarily how you should run them, but things that you can do to make these go smoothly and how to profit most from them.
Yeah, for sure, Orly. So birthday parties, well, first of all, this is a good time of year. We see that birthday parties typically go up in numbers. There's more people calling in and wanting to have birthday parties when school goes back into session. Because in the summertime, it's a little bit harder to get with all your buddies and get the get the word out that you're having a birthday party. But I want to start out by saying, there's so many. Not only are birthday parties great revenue for the day of, for the party itself, but birthday parties are such an opportunity to introduce families to your bowling center. So, so many times people are looking for outside the home places that are fun for their kids to host their birthday parties. And we should look at it as an opportunity for us to really grow our business and introduce our venue to families. And so there's so many ways of looking at birthday parties, but definitely to look at the big picture is very, very important. So,
yeah, there was many times where at the center, someone was dropping off their child. And as they're dropping off their child, they're like, oh, I didn't even know this bowling center was here, or this business was here. So just like that, you already have that family that might be a little interested now. They're just dropping off their kid, but they might be like, hey, let's bring the whole family back to check out this place. And that's just not even them having the birthday fun yet. That's just them walking through the door, seeing your place. But yeah. You had a good point, and nowadays, I know your children probably aren't as young as mine anymore. We won't say the ages or anything though, right?
Yes, thank you very much. Or we'll end this right now.
But I know some schools now, they require, I don't know if you know this, when you take a birthday invitation, you can't just give it to certain kids.
Yep.
You have to give it to the whole class, which could be kind of good. You're getting more business that way if the whole class is coming.
Yeah.
Unless you hand them out of class, but then sometimes that's hard because you don't know the parents or you don't. So yeah, sometimes you're going to have these big birthdays coming in. I just want to get that out of the way. But And I think that's good. And I certainly understand that. Of course, not all the kids are going to come, but nonetheless, you're getting exposure. You're actually sending an invitation home and that parent sees it. Oh gosh, I didn't really realize that they had, parties at the bowling center. But with that being said, there are so many, as we said at the beginning of the podcast, there's so many reasons that birthday parties are huge for centers. But there's a lot of things that we can do and that we should be doing to make sure that we are maximizing that. We want to make sure that we are making that experience one that becomes talked about once the kids leave. So you want to make sure that you are doing everything under the sun to make not just the birthday person, but all of the guests have just an amazing time, because what happens is they leave your facility. They talk about it to mom and dad, and they talk about it to their friends. And there's a lot of things that we can do to really take and make that experience extra special. Just within your scoring system, look at the things that you have available. Yeah, put their photo up there. There's the birthday
The
wheel.
birthday
Yeah,
wheel.
yeah, and yeah, there's so many different things you can do through just your scoring, just to enhance the experience for the kids.
Absolutely. And making sure that you're ready when those people come into your center. So I know a lot of people have dedicated birthday hosts or hostesses. In my particular case, I like to call them ambassadors of fun. A lot of times we are getting hosts or hostesses, and a lot of times that's their first job. And I found that giving them a very cool title of Ambassador of Fun makes them feel pretty special. And they do have a really important role.
Yeah,
They are they're the ones that have to direct the fun. They have to create the fun.
yeah, and some people
And
don't realize it, but
so
that's a stressful day for a parent sometimes. Getting that birthday party ready, making sure it goes perfectly, and if they could just get in the center, bring all the kids, get them all there, and your person, your staff member can kind of take over from there and make that
yes,
successful, make everybody happy, and take a little stress off the parent. That goes a long way.
it definitely does, but it's a center's responsibility to make sure that they're equipping this young host or hostess with the tools that they need. So as you said, Orly, a parent is coming in and their expectation is that they want their special someone to have the best day possible. And so, of course, their expectations are high. They're anxious. They want, they're afraid that nobody's going to show up. All those feelings that we have all experienced many times. And so their stress level is up there. And so you have to make sure that you're equipping your staff with those scenarios. You have to let them know that that's what to expect, and that they need to have the skills to be able to calm that parent down, give them that sense of it's going to be okay. I gotcha. It's going to be okay. You sit back. This is just as special a day for you as it is for Susie or Bobby or whatever. Just relax. I got it.
Yeah.
And and then with the same token, if that parent does blow up at that host or hostess, that's not easy for an adult to have that happen to them,
Yeah.
but much less, a young 16, 17-year-old that this was their first job. That's traumatic.
And not to go too far off this, but also, like, we're saying about how to keep the people happy during the birthday party. You got to kind of think of the other things too. Be prepared to make that party successful. You got to kind of make sure also, if you have an arcade, make sure your games are working. Make sure whoever you have at the camp
Yes.
for redemption is someone that works well with kids, because if they
Mm-hmm.
have a good experience in their party room, but let's say they're getting ready, they're like, oh, all the games were broken, or the person that was getting the prizes for all the kids, because there's going to be a line of 30 kids at some of these parties. If there's some grumpy person, they're going to be like, wow, it was a great party, until they try to redeem their tickets. So there's a lot of things that go into
Absolutely.
being prepared for it. And also, to rewind a little bit, we didn't quite talk about this, but the first steps of the person taking the call for a birthday party, make sure,
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know if some centers I know have a specific person that they need to talk to, but if not, make sure you have all your stuff ready. Whether it's, imagine if you have a new employee, somebody calls in and says, hey, can I get some information on a birthday party? And if you're like, I don't have that, but let me see if I get somebody to call you back. That alone can lose the person already. They might move on to the next person, the next business, and find a great deal and be like, okay, I'm not even going to call the other place back. So make sure you're equipping your staff with, like, the menu options, whether it's party packages or, the pizzas that you're serving, or the sodas or the juices or just whatever. And
Right,
keep
and
the prices to the
how to
party.
qualify that sale, and how to ask for that sale, right? How to
Yeah.
close the deal. You have to be able to provide the tools that are necessary in order to be able to set your staff up for success. And as we said early in the show today, birthday parties are a great opportunity to introduce families to your center. So, are you adding something to your birthday party package to get the siblings back in there, the parents back in there? Think about that. When that child that has attended that birthday party leaves the bowling center, have you equipped them with anything that they can share with their brothers and sisters or their parents to get them back in there? And if you're including a buy one, get one, or 15 minutes of free play or whatever you choose to do, remember that adds value to your birthday party as well. So if you're doing that, make sure that you are uh, noting that, on your birthday party brochure, your birthday party flyer. Another thing, Orly, and I think you and I talked about this, one of the things that we do when we work with customers privately through our virtual marketing manager program is we encourage the hostesses to really create a signature for their party, right? Do something unique, do something that sets them apart from the other hostesses. Because if you've got 6 or 7 birthday party hostesses, they're all wanting, the more parties they have, the more tips they get, right? So they want to take their party up a notch. And so one of the things that we encourage centers to do is to provide business cards for your ambassadors of fun and let them put their name on their parties. And then on the flip side of their business card, put, the language that, ask for me when you book your child's party here and receive. And then the bowling centers can put in a special offer for there. So that way each one of the people that are coming there as guests, you're giving them an incentive for their parents to book their birthday party there.
Yeah.
And, the side effect of that also, the hostesses or the ambassadors of fun, their names are out there now that they're the one that hosted that party, good or bad.
Yeah.
So it really does make them step their game up because they're wanting people to ask for them to the more parties they can be the host of, the more tips they get.
Yeah.
So it really works wonderful.
You were talking about getting families back and also just getting families in. Maybe, and I know everybody nowadays, a lot of people are, digital or they want to do things digital. But I think if you're going, I call it old school, but printing out little flyers, if you send a kid home, there's 30 kids at that birthday party and you send them home with this flyer that has like balloons and pictures of arcade games and pictures of pizza and saying like, have your birthday here. Can you imagine that little kid taking that home? They're not going to leave it on the ground. They're going to like want to show their parents, like, can I have my birthday party there? They're going to have that little reminder to be like, hey, don't forget mom and dad. I want to have my party here too. And, or even if you have a school field trip come in, that's a perfect opportunity to give these kids, can we give this? I mean, maybe even dropping them off at the school and saying, hey, can you hand these out to the kids on Friday or something?
And especially if you already are working with that school with another program, one of the programs to reward the kids or help the teachers, whatever your program is that you're working with the school. So I think that's another great opportunity. But, I'm going to throw something out there. I mean, here we are, the summer is already over, but I know that there are a lot of people that do the Kids Bowl free. You get this data. Something that you talk about old school here, take your data that you have. And if you have, physical addresses, send the birthday child something in the mail and also include your birthday party information. Do it at least 6 weeks to 8 weeks in advance minimum. But children rarely get something special to themselves. So if you're going to do it, address it to the child. It makes it really it makes it really special for them. So,
and one thing I was mentioning to you is I used to have a lot of people come in and they would, if they've never been there, that was my big question. Have you been here before? When somebody was going to start bowling, and if they say no, perfect opportunity to share anything you want about your center. So what I used to do is like, yeah, we do, we have a back patio. It's really nice. We do birthday parties. I'm like, we have like some party rooms. Would you like to take a look? And they would be like, sure. I would walk them back there. And you had a great point. You said you used to stage the room so it looks like there's a party, basically how the birthday party could look. And that's a great opportunity.
Absolutely.
And people book. I mean, you might not think, but they book far out in advance too. So be ready all the time to be booking these parties. I would have people, have a birthday party in, let's say, September, and then say, hey, my next child's birthday is in December or January. Can I already go ahead and set that in your book already? So you have have it on your calendar. And one thing I noticed is I would have some of the same families come back every year for every child's birthday. They knew it was easy. They knew it was, priced to what they liked. And yeah, you get those people keep coming back in, guaranteed customers, that's good for you and, for your center and for them. So.
Absolutely. And I have to tell you a little secret. So and you do have parents that either they bring the same child back every year or they bring a brother and sister back every year. And I am really big into keeping a database and making sure that you know who your customer is and about your customer. And when the customer calls in and you go, "Oh yeah, Orly, you brought your child here last year and this is what we did for them." That parent, that's an immediate seal of approval right out of the gate because they feel special. You knew who I was and you knew that I was a customer of yours last year. And that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
So I think that's really, when you can do that, I think that it's really, really helpful. So, well, I think these are all really good tips for our listeners. So I don't know about you, Orly, but I'm ready to go out and celebrate.
Yeah. Oh, like I said, I just had my birthday and I celebrated, but I'm always ready to, I'm one of those people that could be like, it's my birthday month. Those people that it's not just a birthday. It's not a birthday weekend. It's a birthday month. I'm always ready to celebrate my birthday.
Me too. Me too. Well, listeners, thank you so much for joining us today. We look forward to you tuning in next week for another episode of Seeds of Success as we equip you with more practical tips, ideas, and trends that'll help you grow your center and achieve new levels of success. Remember to share this podcast with your entire team. The more seeds you plant, the bigger the crop. Until next time, keep growing your business one happy customer at a time.